Walkin cooler's been holding at about 40 all day. Thermostat says it's cooling, which is that dot in the upper left-hand corner. It says it's currently 40 and a half. Coil is not iced up, although it's not in great shape. So frame rate's always weird. This fan is putting out a lot of air. This fan's putting out very little air. Alright, let me go to the roof and see. I gotta get on the roof. Minutes ago it was 94 degrees. Unbelievable. Welcome! We made it to the roof. This is our cooler. She's low on gas. It's Friday. 10 after 5. This is our 404. I'm gonna go get my gauges and the Freon. We're gonna top it off. We're gonna get them through the night. We'll come back under better circumstances to find out why we're out of gas. All right. I've got the bottle valve on, but I have my valve shut off. 404, 25 PSI, -10. This is like walk-in freezer stuff, except this is the cooler. And again, you can tell because our sight glass is darn near empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this and I'm going to purge. I'm going to crack the line running to the bottle, right, till I get my Freon. Now I purge my lines. Now I'm going to open this up. Freon's going to flow. We're going to watch the sight glass. There. I'm going really slow. See? Tiny little bit. But a little bit more. Alright, I'm off. Look at that. See how it looks like it's not doing anything? That's what you want. That's a full sight glass. Now, we're running 50 PSI, 14 degree coil. That's messed with because of the load in the box and that there's no ambient out here. It's not hot. That's going to elevate up to be more like 60 PSI, more like 25. Alright, see, we gave it a minute to regulate and we're flashing again, so we're not done. There we go. Let it do what it's going to do. I didn't even hook up the high side because all I'm doing is charging by the sight glass right now. I'm not worried about overcharging it because it was empty. So you clear the sight glass, you're good. So again, I'm going to let this run for a couple minutes while I'm up here. I'm not going to play up and down, up and down. I'm under the umbrella. I'm going to stay here. Make sure she runs clear for 5-10 minutes. Then we'll unhook and we'll just let's go back downstairs, check out what's going on with our box. Looky there. So you can't just gas it and go as much as I want to, right? 5:30 on a Friday, just gas it and go. We're clear. Well, we're not clear. I felt like we weren't clear just from the pressures. And we should be at more like 60 instead of 50. It wasn't completely empty when I got here, so I don't have the fear that there's a massive leak. That, as you know, it's leaking out as fast as I'm putting it in. I don't fear for that. Exciting here watching a glass, right? Sorry. Forgot you were here. We'll give it a few minutes, I'll catch up with you. Huh. So now we're 36 and dropping. Running a 20-degree coil, so now we're going to get there. Now we're gonna get there. So we're cooling. You can hear this sounds terrible. So there's a vibration. I don't know whether that's the bearings of the motor, because again, this motor is definitely not running to speed. So they're up and running for tonight. I am coming back tomorrow anyway, so I will come to this location and we'll do a rundown of what ails this box. Try to find the leak. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the leaking cooler. So, spoiler alert. I took my leak detector and it was just going crazy in there. I couldn't pinpoint where it was. So, we've got the leak detector. And what you do is you spray it real stream like that. You don't want to create a spray, because if you spray it makes bubbles just when it makes contact. But as we kind of coat everything, look at there, and it lets you find your leak. Got a leak right there in that bend. Right there in that bend. I'm going to check the whole thing. Make sure that's the only leak we got. I got a lot of bubbles here too, but I think they're just dropping down. Yeah, it looks like it's just there. Look, there's a little frothy right there. Is that from my... So now the question is, can we torch that enough to be continued? We'll see. I've cleaned this up right here. Done my best to try and get into the lip of that groove, which is right here. So I can get a good connection. All right, I'm gonna get a wet rag. We'll cover up all of the, pulled the Schrader out of that. So I recovered the charge up top. I'm actually gonna go back up top and get nitrogen running. I'll show you what that looks like. Have the rag set up, and then we'll record the torching. All right, so we've recovered the charge. I like this little regulator because it takes the stupid out of it for me. So you set your tank for 100 PSI, and then it pumps in 5 PSI of nitrogen while you're brazing. So I've got my, let's crack the bottle here, cloudy gauge, but right there's 100. All right, so now we're running nitrogen into the system. I've got the system opened up downstairs, so it's running through, the solenoid's closed in the evaporator, so it's actually gonna run backwards and come out. I'll show you down there. We'll get the torches set, and we'll braze this thing up quick. All right, we'll see if this works. I've got, I can feel the nitrogen coming out, the open Schrader, so we're good. We've got the electrical all covered up with a wet rag. Fire up the torch. I'll get started. See how it oxidizes and gets all the stuff? The inside of the pipe does that too, and the nitrogen keeps it from being a real problem. So it's ugly, but I didn't want to overheat it. Alright, let me cap her off, and we'll put some nitrogen in it, in a real amount, you know, put 100 PSI of nitrogen in it, we'll see if it bubbles again. Alright, about 100 PSI in there. No bubbles. Eureka. All right, let's go pull a vacuum, gas it up. We are vacuuming, so you can see we're in a vacuum. We've been going for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go for about 30, 35 minutes. Pull it into a nice deep vacuum. the point of the vacuum is to take any of the debris. You know, I've opened the system to the atmosphere, so dust, pollen, oxidation from the torching, there's debris inside of here. So we're running a vacuum, pulling from both sides to try and pull out any of that debris. I didn't change the dryer. Best practice is anytime you open up the system to the atmosphere, you change the dryer. I didn't have a dryer on me, and I needed to get this thing done and up and running for a temperature holding perspective. So I may end up at another time pumping the Freon into the compressor and then changing the dryer, but she'll be okay for now. All right, so now we've got our Freon set. We're gonna go back to the label here. "404A, 404A, 7 pounds. So, we've got it fired up here. Tear it out so it's clear. All right. I'm gonna crack it right here. Not with one hand, hang on. All right, I crack it right here till we get the Freon. All right, so we're purged. And we're still in a vacuum in the system because I shut that off. So now we're not going to introduce anything. The line is purged, and we're going to open this up, and we're going to start bleeding in Freon. "7 pounds is the target, right? But again, we have a sight glass, so the reality is, other than for weighing it out for usage and cost purposes, we're just going to fill it to the sight glass. So, and obviously, numerically we're going backwards because I cleared it out at 0, and now it's measuring out the difference in loss. We could do it the other way. When I plugged it in, it was 15 pounds. You know, I could have just filled it to the sight glass and then weighed it again and said, oh, look, we're 8 pounds. Surprise, we put in 15 pounds. So, we do have enough gas in the system now. If I turned it on, we can use the compressor to start pulling it into the system. We're directly downwind from the fans, so I know the sound's gonna get weird. Plus we've got a line set, so there's going to be a little in there. On the immediate, the sight glass is clear. It's going to start bubbling again though, I'm pretty sure. And right now, you've got all the refrigerant locked up on this side of the expansion valve downstairs. Once the valve starts sucking it out of here, there it goes, see? I'm trying to stay out of the wind. Alright, so I put in 7 pounds. That's for the unit pre-charge, not the line set. So I'm now going to use the sight glass as she runs, and look where it is. I'm filling it in. Alright, now we're going to let her run for a little while. We'll let the TXV catch up, do its thing downstairs. See if we keep a solid column of Freon flowing. That's what the sight glass is measuring. The Freon is a vapor in this condenser, and as it goes through, it liquefies and it fills that receiver. Then the system pumps that liquid down to a valve in the bottom that pinches it off and then bleeds it through real slow. Well, that valve has to get a consistent stream of liquid. Otherwise, it's trying to regulate. Hey, I need more, I need less. If the flow coming to it is irregular, it can't ever logic where we're at. So it starts out, you know, wide open, and then says, oh, I've got too much, it shuts out. That's why there's a receiver. So there needs to be enough Freon in the condenser and the receiver so that always there's a solid flow of liquid, which I can see in the sight glass now as the TXV is getting dialed in. We're flashing again. That's to be expected when you've got a system like this that was off and now you're letting the TXV catch up again. Pressures actually say we're still low on gas. Sight glass. So this is a cooler, not a freezer. That should not be 12-degree coil. It should be a 28, 30-degree coil. We're going to let this run for 15 minutes. We're going to let the box satisfy, see what our sight glass does. And there you go. Box pulled down, 33, satisfied, went back up to 38, pulled back down again. So, we're humming now.